Three, two, one, and go for it.
Hey everyone, this is another episode of Split Screen. I'm
Split screen.
and you are
I'm Don, and who are you?
Tony.
Tony. Don and Tony. This is the Don and
That's
Tony
right.
Orlando show. Tony Orlando and Don, only it's D-O-N.
Victor Victoria.
Victor Victoria.
Sorry about that. That is our the movie we are reviewing today. It's a 1982 musical comedy starring Julie Andrews, James Garner, and Robert Preston and Leslie Ann Warren. It's set in 1930s Paris, and the film follows Victoria Grant, a struggling soprano who can't find work. She befriends Toddy, a gay cabaret performer, and he suggests that she pose as a male drag queen called Count Victor Granitsky to perform as a female impersonator.
Nice.
That's pretty much the start of it. What's your best, three things you want to talk about this movie?
Man, it's hard to say just three things because this has to be one of my favorite movies of all time.
Spoiler alert, I've never seen this movie before.
We know
we can't always trust Don's
you can
taste.
absolutely
No,
trust.
don't listen to it.
We're coming up on Red Sonja pretty soon.
But in this case, I will say what he likes to claim. He was amazing with this one. I think this is one of the better movies I think I've seen kind of ever for how it encapsulates everything. This is your three. Go.
I was waiting. It's fine. Yeah, no, you'll get your chance. You'll get your chance. Three positive things because I've got nothing negative to say. Julie Andrews, absolutely fantastic. She is a goddess in this, and she is an actress. She's a singer. Just amazing. As a kid, I was in love with her. And then the theme, the fact that this is 1982 movie and it's very gay, but it's not, a farce. It doesn't treat gay people like they used to treat gay people in movies. They weren't all queens, although, they did say the queen word in here. They were just characters. They were there and just absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna give 4. Leslie Ann Warren, absolutely another goddess in this. She is amazing. One of my favorite parts as a kid, in particular, her song "Chicago" is great.
Oh my God.
And then the costumes, just beautiful. I mean, a lot of love and care was taken into this, and the music. See, I can't give enough praise, so I'm gonna stop because I can go on about everything about this movie because, like I said, I saw this when I was a kid, and, I knew it was a little gay back then, but, that didn't attract me to this movie because you could be completely it doesn't matter. This movie pretty much transcends a lot of things, and, it's a craft, it's an art. This movie is art, and so go ahead. What's your 3?
Like I said, there's a lot I like about this movie. First off, and this might be for the time and the style, but lots of people hate the idea of like stereotypes or things, but in writing, archetypes are really important. And when you have these characters who are archetypes and they kind of push the levels of the archetype they are, you get really cool, fun stuff like this, where within that kind of boundary, the characters can do almost anything and everything. Like almost every character, even to the side characters, had funny lines or were snarky or had their own personality.
Like his bodyguard, huh?
Yeah, the bodyguard. That was great.
That was a great side story.
The the waiter being carried through the whole thing to the end, that was pretty fun.
Cockroach.
Even the little part where they go in to have her audition for the head agent, and that magician guy comes in or whatever with the secretary, and that's that whole
That was good. That was actually
and then again, you have to pay I'll move on to the second point. First was archetype, second point, there's a lot happening and everything has purpose. Like, a lot of characters, even if it's just for entertainment or comedy, are really funny.
Yeah.
Even there's a part where, the through line of her ability to sing and the note she hits, breaking bottles happens quite a bit, like
E
almost
flat or something like that.
yeah. but it comes in several places and comedically. Back to The Magician where he's bouncing on top of it and she performs
There
right at that time and it
that was
breaks.
so funny.
And
There was no words to that. Did you notice that? He
no,
just comes in, and then puts up his stuff and then balances himself on top of the
yeah.
secretary's head.
Well, it's like, I think he comes, he says, "I wanna perform," or asks his
So I'll
headache.
do it for you.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it for you," and boom, just like that, and drags her off table and balance she's all balancing on her head, it's crazy. Um, and then the 3rd part, I have to give it to we watch a lot of stuff now, and we talk about making art, or is there an agenda, or a message, or whatever, and I stand by the idea that if you are skillful and you care enough, it will always be great. And for this to be like a 1982 movie about the LGBTQ community or whatever and how they are, and to knock it out of the park on everything from the way they act to messaging around gender like identity or just masculine, feminine traits and what that means. Everyone is such a spectrum. They're all their own individual
People.
kind of
Yeah.
people. And so it's not about those type of things. They can argue about it, but they also speak about it in a way that's not even what's the word? Like shameful necessarily. Like
Mhm.
even the head guy, um, what's his name in
Toddy?
Toddy? Yeah, but what's his name in the King? Thanks.
Oh, King Marchand.
Yeah, King. Uh,
James Garner.
yeah. Even King, as much as he'd rather not be seen as a gay dude, it's not necessarily like he doesn't care. It's just this is frustrating. I shouldn't be doing this because you're a woman. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Not that he hates them or anything. So it's just everyone's so comfortable in who they are, what they're doing. And you kind of see everyone thrive because no one's like, yeah, she's pretending to be this performer, but it's for money and it's a job, not because she's escaping
Yeah.
herself or wondering who she is and she's not like it's none of that. It's just
Oh.
it's simple.
She was basically on the streets starving and
Yeah,
needed to be employed.
that's right. Because she's fainting at the sight of gross people eating
Actually,
pastries.
that was so cool. That was actually that is one of the greatest scenes where the guy is just stuffing his face,
Mhm.
and they repeat that when later on when she goes in to have her own meal, and
Yeah.
she's gonna pay for it with a cockroach, and you get that morbidly obese lady that's also stuffing her face.
Mhm.
Just, so much detail. This movie is just filled with detail throughout the entire
Yeah.
thing. I mean, everything is thought of, and it's perfectly crafted,
Mhm.
and the music is amazing,
Mhm.
the jazz hot baby, just, uh, just
Yeah.
love it,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
yeah, no, so what else can we talk about it? So, we've got I mean, do we wanna go through play by play like we normally do, or
It might be a little
just
hard.
yeah,
There's a lot in this movie. If you blink and you'll miss certain things. I
yeah.
probably the only time what?
So, I just wanna lay down the groundwork. Julie Andrews is an out of work singer, and she's starving. She's about to sleep with her landlord for a meatball to pay for her rent. Actually, no, not even to pay for her rent, just for a meatball.
Yeah,
Um,
the meatball itself.
so she passes out, and then she decides that, she discovers a cockroach in her place and decides to go get herself a meal,
Mhm.
and that's where she meets Toddy,
Mhm.
who we there ends up being the cockroach gets loose and causes havoc in the restaurant. So Toddy takes her back to his place, and her clothes are ruined because of the rain,
Mhm.
and, so she wears his boyfriend's clothes,
Mhm. Or
and
is it boyfriend because they're
ex-boyfriend,
leaving each
because
other money.
he's a dick. The boyfriend's a dick.
Yeah.
He's with a woman,
Yeah.
kind of a woman, older woman, rich woman,
Yeah.
and he
He gets
comes
the
back to
money.
pick up his stuff and money, yeah,
Mhm.
and she comes out and socks him because he is a dick,
Yeah, he's
and
being really rude to him and me,
yeah,
and then she doesn't like that.
that's where Toddy gets the idea to set her up. Victor Victoria is a woman pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman,
Mhm.
and, um, ends up becoming the toast of Paris.
The premier drag queen
Yeah,
of
where she
Paris.
ends up meeting King Marchand, played by James Garner, and
Mhm.
everybody back in the '80s loved James Garner because,
Mhm.
he was, the star of Maverick and other such things. I mean,
Yeah,
we all loved him back then for some reason,
yeah,
and,
it's kind of a stud. I was like,
yeah. No, and I liked his dilemma because, he quickly found out that she was a woman by hiding in her apartment,
that's
which is a
that's
great scene where the bodyguard, follows them because he sees him over there and then gets
yeah.
stuck out of the balcony.
This reminded me how much breaking and entering is in these old
Oh my
movies, like,
goodness.
just so much breaking into people's homes, hiding in different things.
Hiding in the bathroom, on the balcony, and then the whole thing with the door being open and the wet floor is
Smile he
just
had,
oh,
slowly closed the door after peeping. I'm like, "He's over here peeping Tom," and just anyway, let's go on 'cause
but sh you know, so they end up she falls in love with him even though he's a dick,
Mhm,
and,
and he falls in love with her
I think
even
she likes
though
his well,
man.
he knows, but, these movies had a thing for love at first sight,
Mhm,
and I'm okay with that. I don't mind that at all, but he does have a problem with her being pretending to be a man because while he loves her, he has to sort of conform to her lifestyle, and,
mhm,
one of my favorite scenes is when they go dancing. She wants to go dancing,
mm,
and it has to be at a gay club because
yeah,
they're 2 men dancing together because she has to continue playing the personality,
mhm,
and at that point, he can't handle it, so he goes to a bar so he can get into a bar fight.
just to feel like a man.
Yeah, and I like that scene, because you know, that would be true if you ask me because, you can get away with a lot of stuff, but if it's outside of your nature, you need to revisit, what makes you a man. So I understood why he would have done that.
Mhm,
Um, which is a great scene. And eventually, what happens after that?
well, let's
I'll
see
hand it
here.
off to you. People
That's where
start
we begin.
a couple people start finding out that she's Victor Victoria,
Yeah, that's
or that she's Victoria. But she doesn't wanna be Victor anymore because she's in love with King Marshal.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's pretty much how it ends, where she ends up coming out, and that great musical scene at the end where
mhm,
Toddy takes her role as
yeah,
Victoria, and just you could definitely see when he's doing that, he was having a ball. I
mhm.
mean,
Oh, it was
those look like
hilarious.
genuine emotions. I mean, I know he's a character one of the greatest actors
Yeah,
ever, going back to Breakfast at Tiffany's and stuff like that.
mhm.
But, when he's dressed up in the flamingo outfit and, you know
Yeah, recreating this whole scene, which is kind of,
the
Victoria's
vil
second
yeah,
performance. So she had her first one, and that was, like, really well done. It's kinda what mesmerized King and a lot of people as, like, the debut show of this drag queen. But the second show, which is kinda one where it's almost more of like a tour at that point because it seems like she's doing that
yeah,
show specifically, uh, to kinda hide because the whole B plot sort of is that idea that people know she's not who she says she is. And that brings in kind of 3 characters. There's a private investigator that gets hired
mhm.
by the owner of the original bar that Toddy worked at, but got fired from because Toddy, Toddy sometimes he wakes up and he chooses violence.
He was a cabaret singer at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, and got fired
Yeah, because he caused a fight with this woman
over his
over his
ex-boyfriend. Yeah.
ex-boyfriend and got into the amount of brawls, like full-on brawls where
Blake
Edward
Edward was good for that. He did a lot of that stuff. That was a trope back in the day.
yeah, just
Yeah.
full-on brawls, the cops have to come, they get
Restaurant
the
brawl,
yeah,
bar brawl,
bar brawl.
everything. Yeah, the cops were it's some funny stuff.
So that's a part of it. The waiter as well, and this goes back to, in the beginning with the roach scene where she
Yeah.
gets the roach, she tries to get a free meal because she's hungry and starving. Patty sees her eating, comes in together, tries to get him a free meal too with this roach that she took from her landlord's bedroom.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we also have Leslie Ann Warren at the time that, you know, he that was King Marshawn's mole, girlfriend,
yeah.
and she's a loudmouth, shrill,
Mhm.
um,
She has that
sex
Harley
pot.
Quinn accent.
Yeah,
Harley Quinn. It's like that Mr. G like that kind of like weird.
yeah, but she
Yeah,
gets
so
so annoying that, King sends her back to Chicago, which is where they're from,
Yeah.
and she ends up crying to another mafia boss because he works for the mafia. He's not a mafia boss, but he works for the mafia.
Yeah,
Works
like, his
with.
money
Yeah,
came from them, like, loan
yeah.
so he's, like, I guess, cleaned some of their money in his, like, dealings because he's a nightclub owner.
Which I found interesting that she was like, "Okay." Julie Andrews is like, "Wow, I don't know how I can handle this, you being a mobster. I'm not a mobster, I just do business with." "Alright, that sounds good to me."
I mean,
But she's
that makes
great.
sense.
She goes back to Chicago and at the time she still thinks that Victor is a man and
Mhm,
King Marchand is in a relationship with a man.
mhm.
So she puts on a musical number back in Chicago, which is one of the sexiest, you know, musicals,
Yeah.
ever, just showing all sorts of TNA.
Very, very dirty.
And then
And
she talks to, it starts, another mob boss saying, "Oh my God, he's gay. King Marchand's gay. You got to go see him and take him out. And oh, by the way, I can be your girlfriend too."
she's such a floozy.
It's so great when they get back to Paris, her and the other mafia guy, and Julie Andrews takes her into the bedroom.
Mhm,
And she starts taking her clothes off because she's gonna prove that she's a woman,
mhm, and she's like,
and the
"Stop, stop."
yeah,
That
stop. Oh, make sure the door's closed.
yeah, she's all for it. She's
Ju
really acting like she's a
Leslie Ann Warren is just a beautiful actress. She's fantastic. Do you ever see the movie Clue? She's also in that. She plays a madam as well,
mhm,
so another, sex-related role, but she was good at it. I mean,
mhm.
she had skill. She was an actress.
Yeah,
She wasn't anything modern that we have today. She could do everything.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. And then I guess that's coming to a close, huh?
That's
Yeah.
kind of it. I mean,
You have
we
anything
sang
else
its
to add?
praises.
Yeah, we can only praise it. Yeah, I mean, if you had something negative to say, what would you say? Yep,
That's
never mind.
super hard.
Yeah.
I
No.
can't think of anything.
This movie came out in '82, which right now is 40 years old, over
Mhm.
40 years old,
I wasn't even
and
born then.
it still holds up today in every single way.
Mhm.
And it I would only wish that at some point, Hollywood goes back to making movies like this
Yeah,
again. I mean, even, back in that day, the budget was, oh, somewhere how much was the budget on this? It wasn't much, $15 million budget. Um, I mean, they could easily make a good movie on a budget like
yeah,
this.
yeah. Well, you just have to be true to the characters, and you have to let the characters do everything
You
they
have to be
would
able to
do.
write.
Well, that
I don't
too.
think writers today can write. They're just copying what came before, and it just makes a whole bland landscape that's coming out of Hollywood because really, I mean, w can you name one other movie in the last 20 years that even comes close to this kind of quality?
Mm, that's a hard one because I think this movie is very different. So
Well,
I'm gonna say no.
Burlesque.
Mm,
Burlesque.
burlesque.
This would be its peer
Okay.
today. No,
Yeah.
not even close
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
Of
All
course.
I can say on this is I recommend it. I think it's great. Every character has a purpose. Norma, she's she's a good foil to King
Oh,
because one of the biggest things with Norma, 'cause I'm trying to remember because there's a lot in this.
mhm. 2, 2 big things.
So when they have it set up that Todd thinks that after every performance, Victor shows that he's a man,
Reveals.
reveals. So everyone thinks it's a woman performing, and then like, no, it's actually a man. It's Victor. So at first, Norma was very jealous of the way King was, like, looking at her and
Oh.
falling in love with her,
Oh,
and
that's
then
such
was
a great
revealed that it was a
scene.
man. She and this is the thing, sometimes people can't admit that they're wrong, and so the back and forth between them over him liking this man, but her knowing
Yeah.
it was a gay man, which she didn't, by the way. She only finds out later on when they meet Todd and them together, and they go to the back, and Todd and her have a conversation where Todd says, "This is a gay man. This is, like, my partner, my boyfriend, whatever. We've been together for a while." And she can't even believe that because she was trying to screw Todd too. She was trying to get on almost everybody.
Yeah, no, it was great. You just haven't found the right woman.
Yeah, everyone's trying to change everyone to just watch it. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
It's
no,
great.
definitely watch it. It is timeless. This movie is just perfect, and everybody's perfect in it. And so we're gonna wrap this up,
Mhm.
and if, we're doing a rating of 1 to 5,
5.
5?
Yeah,
5 too.
easy
Even.
5. For the
Easy 5.
timing, it speaks on messages, 'cause something writers do is they like to pretend that they're deep. And for one, a lot of people aren't that deep, and unfortunately, a lot of people are too stupid to be that deep, but they like to pretend they are. So the messaging and a lot of the stuff like gender identity and masculine and feminine traits, it's so simple. It's like quick sentences that are like punchy, to the point, represent the character's point of view, and lands what they were trying to say.
Mhm.
And it's done in seconds versus all this
Oh my god.
other
That's
crap.
you know what? That's one thing I was gonna say. This movie has no filler. I
Mhm.
mean, there's nothing here that's padded. It is just, trim, and it flows, everything. There isn't a scene that I really recall where you go, "Yeah, I don't know why they did that."
Yeah.
And in so many modern movies, you get nothing but padding.
Mhm.
Oh, you're like, "Oh god, just move on, okay? We don't care." Um, yeah, no, this is great. Anyway, 5 stars, and
Yep.
that is it.
That's it.
And thank you for joining us at Split Screen, and what can they do? What can they do for us to make our channel successful?
You can like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Let us know if you watched it. Let us know if you're going to watch it after this and what you thought. Give us suggestions on things you think we'd like or dislike because we're going to watch both of those.
Huh?
And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
just stay
no,
tuned.
and we're coming up, I'm gonna start, I may or may not be a little bit older than my co-host here, so I'm gonna start introducing him to movies that were made before he was born.
Hey, I do know a few, but this was one I'm
Very
very
few, poquito. Especially the classics like this. I'm actually happy, that he enjoyed it. And I introduced it to him because this is something that you watch again at some point and
Mhm.
and still enjoy on a repeated viewing.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks again, guys.
Alright,
Have a good one.
bye. And we're gonna pretend to talk right now. So, what do you think? So, Siskel and Ebert at the movies, they would sit there, and sometimes they might actually be fighting. When they did the live yeah, because they didn't agree all. So, maybe another movie to get, you will probably like it. So this is about